The dev sessions for episode 1 are done. Episode 1 was produced through Claude, and it came out really, really good, surprisingly. I wasn't sure. I thought it was going to take a few more episodes, a few more development sessions, but the first result was better than I thought it was going to be. And the goal that what me and my development partner decided to do is we're going to focus on building an X presence, building an X account that we both use as sort of a development team, the Cubics Meow, and focusing on building out our YouTube, pivoting on YouTube to long form, some sort of long form content, because we both ended up with monetized channels. From the viral animal shorts thing came this Cubics Meow development process and monetized channels on YouTube. And a lot of the people on YouTube are just out. They're just giving up. They decided that it's too much work now, and they don't want to have to figure out how to pivot to something else. And the low quality Sora videos was as far as they wanted to go. They made some good money. Now they're out. I'm looking at a lot of these channels, and some of these long form educational channels are, giving people some success. And with the goal of creating a sustainable income, not becoming millionaires, but creating a sustainable income and, quitting a day job and getting to do programming and development and content creation, full time, that's a viable, piece of it. And it definitely is. So right now, I just want to go over session 1 and this development process and what we've decided to do. Okay, the 8 development sessions and the transcripts resulted in, we're going to focus on building a tool. And it's basically to take these development sessions. This is the first tool. This is like a deliverable, the first tool that came out of the development sessions. The decision to continue on with YouTube and building those monetized channels, putting in more work, going from the low effort, Sora videos to actually something more substantial is a decision that came from this, but also creating a tool to help build the Cubics Meow X page. And with the building in public, basically the goal of the tool is to create human generated content from these development sessions, to put these development sessions onto X in a way that's real, that represents me as a real human being. And with limited time, going through this and shaping an exit post later, it would be great if I could be like those successful indie hackers and have enough time to just put, really coherent, consistent X posts out there on a daily basis. But right now it would be fragmented, and it would just be kind of like a standalone, whatever I was focused on at the time, without a coherent like narrative or a story like you want to see on X. So we're basically building a tool, this X post tool, that creates daily posts from these development sessions. And it's not AI generated content, or it's not supposed to be. It's not the AI summarizing it and then producing a summary of what I talk about, like so much of the other AI is. It's in some way compressing it, taking the development sessions and getting the most relevant stuff from the development sessions in a way that matches the way that I speak and the way that it's presented in the development sessions, and only presenting content from the development sessions or things that we're actually working on. So the AI is not generating the content. The AI is helping us to put our generated content into X in a way that's interesting and relatable and consistent on a daily basis. And the results I got from Claude, integrating the Grok information, where Grok comes back with relevant information based on the summaries, and that layered approach to the analysis of the daily development sessions and compounding the value, almost like you're compounding your interest in a bank account, you're compounding the value. It worked. It actually worked really well. And what Claude came back with, the synthesized, the final result from those development sessions was better than we expected. And I ran it through 11 Labs, and I did like kind of a clone of my own voice, but a little bit more, refined. It came back really well. And there was enough success to continue on with it. So the three things that we're going to focus on: building the Cubics Meow, development journal and development process and workflow on cubicsmeow.com. Using the X tool that we're building to build, an X presence on X, where I can get back into the group. I miss my peers. I missed my programmer friends, the people that I was doing stuff with. And it was, like 10 years ago. When I got out of programming into just kind of normal life and into a different industry, was about a decade ago. And it's been, I've been back into programming for, a while at this point, back to like 6-8 months, a year of really like integrating back into the development environment. I mean, I didn't like go off the grid and stop using computers, but my daily development environment ceased to be a thing. And I've really gotten back into my daily development environment with the time that I have over the last like 6 to 8 months. And the results of this project are indicating that this is working, and it really is. So just to summarize the end of episode 1, this is the beginning of the development sessions of episode 2. We're going to continue on with this project. Me and my development partner are going to build the X tool. That's the thing that we've decided to take these development sessions into an X narrative that is human, that only has human content, but that AI helps us to produce and to organize until I can get more time where I have, enough time. Because I do a lot of my best thinking on my bike rides. Me and my development partner have development sessions, really intense development sessions where we debate things and we come up with, decisions and stuff and brainstorm. But I have a lot of the stuff that I do is thinking out loud on bike rides. And I'm really into like bicycling and hiking and backpacking and this kind of being outside and being alert and stimulated by everything going on. This is a kind of an environment that I like thinking out loud in. And taking this information, the AI seems to be able to understand it and process it. And we're going to continue with GPT, Gemini, Claude, and Grok. We're going to utilize the strengths of all 4 of those AIs. And I've got plans for 3 of them. And Grok, Grok just does it for you for free. Getting information from the X post using Grok is well within the limits of the free version. But the things that I'm using the other 3 for, we need the paid versions, because the tokens get eaten up very rapidly. So GPT, Claude, so I want to be open and honest about what paid tools I'm using also. The $20 a month Google plan, the $20 a month Claude plan, and the $20 a month GPT plan, and free Grok. And that's $60 a month. And with my day job, I can afford that. That's within I have a few $100s a month that I can easily spend on, financing this. And with Hostinger, prepaid for a year, for web services, a shared hosting, which is easy to maintain. And ideally we go to like a Hetzinger or one of those companies that does where you can get your own server. But right now, Hostinger's fine. And that's a few other things that we're paying for, like vidIQ for the analysis of the YouTube trends and stuff. But mostly the money that we're putting into this is minimal, which right now is good. So we resulted in 2 monetized YouTube channels, a system and a workflow that just produced very good results for the Claude, the final summary of episode 1 of the first development sessions, and a commitment and the confidence that we can really, get some monetization from some sort of educational long form content, whether it's, stuff about the past or history or entertainment or animals or whatever it is. Watching the trends as all the chaos, as the dust starts to settle, we will figure out how we can thrive on YouTube. And we'll figure it out in these development sessions. So I'm sure it's going to help other people. So the X-Post tool, figuring out the YouTube stuff, and also cubicsmeow.com. That's what we're going to continue with. All right, this is the end of the first development session of episode 2. And it's the day after Christmas, it's the day after Christmas. I'm riding to work, day after Christmas. After seeing what Claude and Gemini and GPT and Grok could do with a week's worth of development sessions, we've landed on two priorities at this point: the analysis and the system to put the development sessions through is going to become a customized version of it for creating long form animal videos. And right now, after doing some research on YouTube, it seems like the long form educational entertainment stuff is making it through this and is allowing people to have some amount of success. So something like the different types of animals that are interesting to people that at different points are trending and are popular, putting them through a week's worth of sort of like development sessions, where getting information during the day, having some discussions about the animal and interesting things about them, getting some information from, GPT, from Grok, from this stuff on X, any relevant stuff that people are interested in, any interesting stuff, putting into the Notebook LM, getting, a half an hour update on all the information and some analysis, having a 15-minute dev session at night, having one before work and on the way home from work in the afternoon and at night. And then after a week of development sessions, putting it through a customized version of the output that Claude gave, that Claude Opus gave for the dev sessions in the first episode that resulted in the summary and the X and the X post were spectacular, much better than expected. And when you use those LLMs properly and you push them to the limits of what they're capable of, they can produce some really incredible results, but you have to use them properly. And a lot of people don't know how to use them properly. And they're getting unpredictable, low quality output. So the two things that we want to get out of these development sessions, are a presence on X that's representative of what we're doing and the development sessions. And I don't want to take the 2 minutes I have here and the 2 minutes I have there to post random chaotic tweets that have no, continuity and are just kind of like, that seem like gibberish, that have no, that aren't part of like a useful story narrative. But I also definitely don't want to post AI generated content. I don't want AI to summarize what I'm doing and give me some, artificial sounding post that's not representative of what I'm doing. So at this point, I'm trying to figure out what's okay and what's not in terms of what I'm happy with and what I'd be like proud to present to people on like an X account, and what other people are going to perceive as fake or authentic. So the goal with the X post generator is to use these different LLMs to not to summarize or optimize or change, but to condense the development transcripts into a natural, 4 or 5 post narrative based on the actual transcripts, with the goal of the post being authentic. And I want to do more with the X account than I have time to do right now. But I think that I can use AI to help me to achieve what I want to achieve before I have time to actually take 20 minutes and have time to actually keep the narrative of X posts going from day to day like I want to, and the attention that it actually deserves when you do it just kind of like freestyling it, when you're like, what, I'm just going to throw out an X post, and when you freestyle it and have a lot of confidence with what you're doing. So Claude can analyze, can learn your speaking style, can understand the emotions behind what you're saying, and can actually understand the development sessions and can recreate that authentically in posts so that the posts actually are authentic. And when you give people access to the transcripts of your development sessions, the audio of the development sessions, and the posts, and when this becomes interesting, when some of this stuff becomes successful, and some of the things that we're doing are gonna have some amount of success, and we will, get some people that are interested and want to work with us, or that at least want to copy or learn from what we're doing, which is fine, and we'll basically have a lot of opinions on what's authentic and what's not. And at this point, I'm not trying to trick people. I'm trying to figure out what's the best possible thing and what the limits are to what we can use AI for, and how we can use it to actually present ourselves authentically, because it does help. It obviously does help. And with the animal script generator, we're going to take a development session focused just on talking about like an animal, how we discovered this animal, whatever animal it is, some interesting things about it. Put it through the first analysis from the first development session. Get back some information from Gemini, get back some information from Grok, get back some information from Claude. Listen to a summary of the information from Notebook LM. Have another development session that's compounded in value because of the information that we got back from the analyses of the first development session. Do that over a week and let Claude Opus and do some research, create a skill and analyze, fact check, do some research and create a script from that from all of the transcripts across those development sessions. And what it did with the first set of development sessions really was amazing. It became very clear very quickly that we can create a system to create unbelievably entertaining and educational long-form entertainment on YouTube. And we can do it probably pretty quickly. This next set of development sessions, episodes 2, is going to be planning and developing the X-Post tool, the authentic X-Post tool to get the development sessions out on X authentically and honestly. And the YouTube like a long form generator. We don't have names for these projects yet. We'll have names for these projects in the next few days. And those 2 projects, getting high quality, entertaining, authentic, human created, long form, safe from YouTube's, terms and conditions and being demonetized and all that, and protected, something that we can be proud of, and also an X account that reflects and presents what we're doing authentically based on our development sessions, based on the time that we have right now. And I'm going to go through these development sessions from episode 2, plan it, build it, and then in episode 3, prove it. In episode 3, pick an interesting animal, one of those deep sea creatures or one of the things that are trending, and actually prove it. Use a week's worth of development sessions to create an unbelievably entertaining script that gets output at the end, just like the episode 1 summary that Claude produced with the 11 Lab. Use a really good 11 Labs audio voice and create a high quality, 5-minute long episode that can go on YouTube and has some chance of getting views and eventually becoming part of a popular channel. And that's the Cubics Meow YouTube pivot that fits right in line with the animal videos that we're doing. We're just going from, short Sora, low effort. And they were, honestly, they didn't take that long. They were fun. We got a lot of views from not a lot of work. And sitting around creating 20 versions of a script for a 10-second Sora video that gets 10 million views was, it was amazing. But it didn't seem like it was going to last. And some of those people were, riding that for a little while, but that was much easier than pretty much anything I've ever seen in my entire life in terms of like programming and stuff. So the fact that ended, that's, not that surprising, but seeing what you can do, everybody that was involved in that benefited from that, you should understand you can still achieve that kind of success. You definitely can. And as long as you pivot to something that just is a little more difficult, requires a little bit more work, but uses the same principles of getting them out there, how those shorts are being viewed, it shows you that you can succeed. Just gonna take a little more work, a little more effort, and a little bit of, ingenuity when developing your workflow and a system to output really quality content. And you got to put in, 10, 15 development sessions, 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, 2 in a day, over a week and a half. And each one of those development sessions has to have a lot of good information that you're going to use for creating kind of a journey through all this stuff that Claude comes back with, and that Grok and GPT and Gemini come back with for interesting things or facts about the animals or rumors about the animals, things that are unsubstantiated, and you verify stuff in the next episode, and it gives the AI something, a lot of information that it can follow and understand how you want the episode to be structured. And it gives the AI an idea of what an episode is. You give it 10 minutes, you give it, an hour and a half of development sessions. It gives you 5 minutes of unbelievably quality episode. But you can't just tell it, create me an episode, and here's like a little bit of information.
but you give it, an hour and a half of development sessions where you're planning it out and learning about it and showing it. It will give you 5 minutes of quality episode. And you use Nano Banana and Kling and VO and whatever, your tools of choice are, your preferred tools, to create some images and a little bit of video. And you've got a high quality, interesting, something that you can actually really monetize in a sustainable way, video for YouTube. And you can do that with anything. This is a workflow and a system that you can do with anything. And this is something that we are going to build in public, we are going to prove, we are going to succeed with, and we are going to help other people to achieve. And that's the X Posts and the YouTube channel. That's what we're going to be focusing on. And this is the end of the first two, the development sessions from my ride to work and my ride home from work. December 26th, episode 2.